Welcome to It's All About the Questions, where learning to ask the right questions can help you achieve lifelong success. Now, here to help you ask all the right questions is award-winning author, international speaker, and business strategist, Laura Stewart.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone, and welcome to the show today. I have an exciting show for you today. Well, every week it's an exciting show, at least in my mind. Hopefully it is in yours. I know I get lots of great feedback from you, my listeners, which is my favorite part of reading my email and reading my social media is the notes and stuff you do send to me. So you can always find me on social media at The Laura Stewart, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on LinkedIn. You can always find me as well at Laura Stewart. So I'm looking forward to keeping on with all of you into the end of 2018 and the beginning of 2019. And today I have a great guest that I've had on once before, and she honored me with one of the top shows to listen to and business intelligence work. And so I'm very grateful for that. And I wanted to have her back on the show because we were talking one day about all those smart devices that everybody's buying. And with Christmas coming, I know that it is one of the hottest ticket items to get, which is the Amazon Echo devices, the Alexa or the Google Home devices. But how do you leverage those devices for your business? Everybody's using them to listen to music, to order things, to get whatever the latest news is or whatever. But did you know that you can use that device to deliver your content every day to potential customers? I bet you didn't know that. And I have Lindsey Anderson, also known as Click Lindsey, back on the show. And Lindsey is going to lay out how you can begin bringing those smart devices into your brand strategy. So Lindsey, welcome back to the show.
Laura, thank you so much for having me back. I really appreciate it.
Well, you know, you have so much great content. I subscribe to your feed, to your blog, to your social media, and I can't even keep up with everything that you are doing because you provide so much valuable content every single day that hits my inbox through your Facebook groups and that. And I'm like, oh my God, how does she come up with all of this stuff?
Yeah, well, I just love digital marketing. I have a lot of clients across a whole bunch of different niches. And so just like every day I learn stuff every day. So it's easy enough for me to turn around and share it as content. And then that content brings me clients. So it's the circle of marketing instead of the circle of life, we'll say.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing. And marketing is something that we see constantly in the world as we're there. I mean, I don't think there's any business that can survive without marketing and PR at some level. Otherwise, they're just saying, I'm here, come find me, but I'm not going to make it easy for you.
Yes, I totally agree. I mean, unless they just are living off of like word of mouth, which could arguably be a marketing strategy in its own. You're absolutely right.
Right, but it's still marketing, right? Word of mouth is still marketing. You have to talk to your customers. You have to decide what your brand is and constantly communicate that to them and then say to them, hey, can you tell other people about us?
So true. I mean, yeah, everything's marketing.
And the whole idea of the digital marketing, the whole online world, to a lot of businesses, it's still a struggle to be heard in that crowded noise of what's out there. I mean, Facebook has blown up with how many people are marketing on there. Even on LinkedIn, it's a little more subtle, but people are marketing there. Twitter, I don't see as much there. It's a lot more content delivery, but even that is marketing, right?
Yeah, I don't know about your LinkedIn, but mine's not subtle. Can we trade places?
No, I want yours. I was talking to T.R. Garland, who's like, one of these top LinkedIn guys, and my LinkedIn profile, all of my social media needs to be taken up a notch, and that's something that I'm going to be focusing on in 2019, and I'm hoping to get a strategy session with you to help me figure out some of the stuff that I'm trying to do, so I want to do that in 2019.
Yes.
And you've also got a great book out now. The Click Technique, which I have, and I keep pouring through and reading, and I still owe a review to you up on Amazon. But
Wow, thank you. And thank you for the shout out on the book. So just, for those who obviously don't know my book, it's called The Click Technique. And it really, here's the thing. When I wrote that book, I've had a lot of successes with my clients, and there are such things as six-figure launches and all these amazing things you can achieve with digital marketing. But I actually wrote that book for just the everyday entrepreneur or small business owner looking to build a strong online marketing foundation. So you're not, it's just a good strategy to build a cornerstone foundation.
And that's what I think is so important that I really want to focus on today. We're going to be talking about the smart devices and how you can market that, but I think we need to set things up a little bit. I don't even think a lot of the entrepreneurs that listen to my show, and even ones that don't, so make sure you forward this on to everybody once the show goes up to podcast, really understand what it means to brand yourself in the digital world. So can you sort of start there?
Yeah, and that is such a big question, and we could talk for an hour about that, Laura. I'm sure you totally know that.
Right, but we're not.
Everything. I know. Brand encompasses the feeling people get when they experience your company. Your brand is about the customers you serve and the packages and the products that you service to them. That is truly one of the biggest struggles that I have seen across the board this year, is that everyone's trying to be everything to everyone, right? And even on social, you don't want to I'm not saying make political posts, but you don't want to step outside of your comfort zone and say something that might be wrong, because you might, offend some people, but you'll draw other people closer to you. So my most successful clients, and also with myself, Laura, I've learned a lot of this year, is you just go out and be yourself and embrace your brand, because you can't be everything to everyone. You figure out who you want to serve, and then you tailor your message to them, and who cares about the rest of them?
And, of course, we all know that the best way to help you figure out your brand is to ask yourself a whole load of questions.
Yes, and it's easier said than done. I'm not sitting here saying this is a quick exercise you guys can get through in 10 minutes and you won't, revamp it halfway through the year, but you got to start somewhere.
Right. So how does somebody decide, once they've figured out, say, what their brand is, because that's so critical, that they want to integrate something like the smart devices, like the Amazon Echo and stuff, into their marketing?
Yeah, so the beauty of, and we'll talk about the ins and outs of smart speaker marketing a little bit later, but here's the beauty of the smart speaker marketing is it is content marketing through and through. I like to call it podcasting on steroids because it's shorter, the barrier to entry is less, there is way less competition, and really the kind of content you're putting out is so short and sweet. But the beauty of it is you have these short little pieces of content, and you can utilize those across the board on all of your social media channels and your blog posts and everything. So it's a really, in my opinion, and from what I've seen, it's an amazing anchor point for all of this content and branding that we're talking about. I don't know if I answered your question, though. Now I went off on this tangent, and I forgot what you were
Well, it was a good tangent. So let's step back just a sec.
Thank you.
Since it has to be one piece, actually, it could be the only piece if you know that all of your clients are hanging out there. But it has to be part of a strategy. It can't just be, I'm going to try this and see what sticks to the wall. So what are some things that my listeners need to start asking themselves so that when we go into the next segment after commercials, they know, okay, this is what I need to do to get ready for this? What are some questions?
Well, first of all, I would ask yourself, because is what I will require of you, or what is required of you, is a small 1-minute piece of content every day. And you can batch upload these, and it's not as hard as it sounds. But you need to ask yourself are you passionate enough, and are you laser focused enough on who your customer is and the questions they have and the content that they would even be interested in order to do this strategy? You have to do that. You can't just go, this is not a scattershot approach. This is my customers are listening, and this is what they want to hear kind of approach.
And it's 1 minute.
It's a 1-minute thing every single day, yes.
So that means, all my listeners out there, that's 365 pieces of 1-minute content, all unique and all focused, that they have to create.
Yes. And it's easier than you might think, Laura. I think you're overwhelming them, Laura, but it's not overwhelming. Like, I will record these, and I am pretty good at content creation, as Laura said, but I literally take 2 hours a month for a little bit of research. I take down my 30 topics. I go up in the closet, and I'll tell you why I go in the closet later. That's a little tease. I go up in the closet, I record for about an hour, and I'm done for the month.
I'm sitting here going, I love that. And I'm like, I want to know about the closet thing. And I on some level, I get it in terms of recording quality and stuff like that. But once again,
you probably don't. I don't know. Do you have 3 kids under 7 running around? I mean, I spend a lot of time in the closet.
I have some other friends with kids. They spend it all in the toilet closet.
Yeah.
Because it's the one room that they can get into. Any other closet some kid will manage to get into, or the dog or something like that. So
yes.
I totally get it. All right. We're going to come right back with more from Lindsey Anderson, also known as One Click Lindsey, and we're going to be talking about how you can focus your content, 1-minute piece of content each day, which will just take your business to the next level. We'll be right back. Okay, Lindsey, I want to know about the closet.
Well, Laura, I know this is your show, but I think we have to talk about what smart speaker marketing looks like first. Is that okay?
Oh, totally. I just couldn't wait. And I knew it would create a laugh. So let's dive in. Okay,
so let me set this up for those who don't have a smart speaker, and also I want to preface this with, I've talked to people about smart speaker marketing enough to know what people are thinking when I say that. So you guys know the smart speaker devices, the little Alexas, the little HomePods, all of these. And sometimes my first reaction is very visceral. It's very, I don't want one of those. I hate those things. The government is listening to me. And that is fine. If that is like your take on the world and you don't want one of those, that is fine. But please understand that over 20 million people disagree with you, and your customers are probably one of those 20 million people. So outside of what you think about these, or if you personally like them, just acknowledge that so many people, like I was reading that over half of the households in the United States will have one. So your customers are in there, so try to put your preconceived notions and hatred of the government listening to you on the cupboard and try to understand what I'm trying to say. So my husband is an early adopter of all things tech. So we have probably 6 smart speaker devices in our house. Good thing we don't do anything illegal. You know what I mean?
Every generation.
Yeah. And if we were doing something illegal and the government is listening, we would be in a lot of trouble. But this is what my typical morning over the past year has looked like. We have an Alexa in the bathroom. I will go in, do the shower, brush the teeth, do the hair, and before I do any of that, Laura, I will say, Alexa, and sorry for all of you who have an Alexa who just lit up right there, Alexa, play the news. And when she does that, I have gone into the Alexa app and I have found some of my favorite content providers who are offering a 1 to 10 minute piece of content every single morning, something different every single morning. So I have some marketing ones, of course. I have some health and wellness ones to, keep me on the straight and narrow. And I have some news and some podcasts, some weather, some local stuff. And all of that takes about 30 minutes, and, that's about as long as it takes me in the morning, and we are done. But it's a really great way of hearing my favorite content providers there in the morning. So what I am offering and proposing to the listeners out there is how potent and amazing this strategy is if your brand is one of those content providers that all these Alexa and smart speaker marketer users can go out and find. They will go out and they'll go to the Amazon website. They'll search their interests. I have some clients doing essential oils on there. I have some attorneys on there. I have local people. I have so many. And you go out there and you search and you find good content providers, add them to your feed, and in the morning it'll just play in a nice little row. So that is what smart speaker marketing looks like, and that's why it is so easy, because you can just go in, you can record your messages, and you can upload them, and then they will be fed throughout the entire month. And every single morning, people will hear your voice, and that know, like, and trust factor is just elevated out the wazoo. You know what I mean? Can I use wazoo on your show?
I love the word wazoo. It's a great word.
Okay.
It's a great catch-all word. So is the vetting process very difficult to get past to get your content loaded up?
Great question. So No, it's not. Essentially, you go to Amazon, you upload your feed. What they're really looking for is audio quality, because you don't want your first feed to be really, really high and loud, and the second one to be low. They don't want people to have to go to their device and turn it up and down. So really, when you submit it to Amazon for review, they're looking for audio levels and not really content.
Are they concerned about length of time or anything like that?
Your Alexa Flash Briefing can be anywhere from 0 to, probably not 0, I don't know what the minimum is, but 1 minute we'll say to 10 minutes. It can be up to 10 minutes long.
Okay, so I'm just thinking through, like, in my own head, right? So you wouldn't upload a podcast because, like, my show, the podcast, after we strip out commercials and national news, is around 45 to 50 minutes. So you have to have a separate feed, or can you just have one feed?
You can have separate feeds, and those, what you're talking about as far as uploading a podcast or repurposing longer content, that would be what's called a skill. And you can totally create an Alexa skill, and it's not that difficult. And the way that people would hear that would be, hey, play It's All About the Questions by Laura Stewart, and then Alexa would wake up and know what that is and play the latest episode. What I'm talking about, you could take your podcast and you could split it up into little snippets and kind of feed it over the week, if that would make sense. It'd be hard for that to kind of make sense without some sewing, but in general, you could do that.
Okay. Because I look at RSS feeds, and for the newbies out there, let's explain what a feed is, because some of my listeners may not have any clue what you mean by a feed.
Yeah, so here's the thing. This is such a cutting-edge technology, right, that essentially there are two ways to create this feed, which basically means a scheduled amount of posts. It's a file that basically says, hey, on this day, play, and you're pointing to an audio file. Play this file. On this day, play this file. On this day, play this file. That is a feed. Now, Amazon and this whole thing is so brand new, the way that they're going to allow you to do it is you upload one a day. And I know when I say that, you're saying, hey, you said I could get this all out of my hair in 2 hours a month. But you can. But unfortunately, you can only do that one of two ways. You can either create your own what's called a JSON feed, which we're not going to get into because it's codey and it's confusing and it's overwhelming, or you can go to a website I created. Sorry, I'm pitching here. I hope it's okay.
That's okay.
If you go to smartspeakerhub.com for $20 a month, we'll make that feed and host your files for you and allow you to schedule them and do all of that.
So smartspeakerhub.com?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Do they need to put that they heard about it on Laura's show or anything like that? Okay.
Nope, it's just there, ready to go.
All right. So everybody, I don't want you to worry about the technology that you need to get it up onto Alexa right now. That can all be handled by somebody like Lindsey or somebody else, or with just a little extra effort on your part, or you could ask your 10-year-old probably to help you get that up there.
Yes.
All right. So they've got their feed, not worried about that. Next.
Well, they need to figure out what kind of content. So I created what's called I like to call it a mini marketing formula, because these are just little 1 minute bursts of information for people to get to know you, to build the know, like, and trust factor. So this is how I create my flash briefing. So I do hey, this is One Click Lindsey, and here's your digital marketing morsel. Today we're talking about the power of Facebook ad like campaigns. Then I talk about that for 45 seconds. Then at the end I say, by the way, I'm hosting a webinar next Thursday going through everything you want to know about Facebook ads. Simply go to www.facebook.com. See you tomorrow. So it's very similar to podcasting. It's very similar to all content marketing. If you're doing a video on Facebook, if you're doing anything, right, on content, then you always have to have a call back to grab that user's email address. So some sort of freebie, some sort of irresistible offer, some sort of Facebook group, whatever the case may be, we do have to create a way to pull them off of this wonderful message and onto your email list so you can continue to email market to them and then snag them as a client.
So content doesn't help if they don't have a way to engage with you and buy from you or give you their email address or something like that. So you need a call to action like you do
100%.
in any effective marketing.
Every episode, I would say, every episode I do a call to action. Sometimes it's a salesy call to action. Sometimes it's a helpful call to action, but there is always a call to action. I'm not doing this for free, Laura. Come on.
Which is, I raise it because it's such an issue for so many of my listeners.
I know.
They struggle with that whole, I am valuable, I should be making money for all the work that I do.
Yeah, please don't go into this without a call to action because you won't get any results. And, what are we marketing for if it is not to increase sales? So, that is a mindset thing. And, again, that is another conversation that we can go on and on about. But really, you get over it and just start asking people for their email address. It's the content you are providing. You think it's helping people, then they will want you to offer them an opportunity to get on an email list or be part of a webinar or be in a Facebook group. They will want that. You're doing them a favor. You're not burdening them. They can turn you off if you're burdening them.
Right, yeah, they can always go, Alexa, I don't want to hear this anymore. But hopefully, if you follow some of the stuff that Lindsey has already talked about and you've sat down beforehand and figured out your strategy and what your brand is, they're going to tell everybody else to add you to their Alexa feed so that they're going to listen to you every month. But you need that call to action. Yes, and you're going to get the reviews. So this is not unlike podcasting or everything else these days. Everything is going to be driven by reviews. And that's why today, I think it's December 16th, 2018, right? These things are just now coming out. Okay, and we're going to end right there because we have to go to national news. Otherwise, we're going to be cut right off.
Sorry.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, live on iHeartRadio and WAXE or, on Memorex on the podcast if you're catching this after the show has finished today. And I'm here with Click Lindsey, Lindsey Anderson, author of The Click Technique, second time on the show. She is just such a powerhouse dynamo with digital marketing. And we're talking about smart speaker marketing today. And I'm not talking about speaking like I do keynote speaking and all that. We're talking about those Alexa devices, the Google Home devices. And Lindsey, before the national news break, you were talking about your mini marketing formula where you laid out what this 1 minute should look like of content that you're going to upload for everyday use for people to absorb and listen to every day on Alexa. What's the next step after that?
So you create your audios, and then, that's about it. You upload them. You can use a service like mine that will allow you to schedule them. And you just, of course you have to continue to create that content. You have to continue to try to convince those people to come off the Alexa Flash Briefing and get on your email list or your text messaging list or however you're going to draw them out. And, it's just kind of automated from there, Laura. I make it sound really easy, huh?
You do, and there's definitely more to it because you mentioned a closet.
Oh, I did. Oh, yes. And that is so. I did mention a closet. You're right.
Because audio quality, you also mentioned, is a huge piece of what Amazon looks for before they will approve your content, right?
Yes, and so I'm sure you've had podcasters on the show before, and we all know, you have the fancy mic and you have the sound booth and those what they call them sound snobs, Laura. I am not one, but I've ran into many in my day. But the beauty of these Alexa Flash Briefings is you do not need the fancy microphones. You don't need anything besides your smartphone and a $2 app. And then I want you to go up in your closet, and I want you to talk to your clothes and record these flash briefings. And the sound quality will make it seem like you are in a sound booth. It's so funny because I told my husband this. I'm like, okay, I have to go upstairs and record the flash briefings in the closet. And he's like, oh, you don't need to do that. They sound fine. You're totally fine. So that batch I did not record in my closet because I'm like, oh, okay, well, he's right. And he was like, okay, those sound like crap. You need to go up in the closet. There is a huge, huge sound quality difference. And for those who are podcasting, you should do it too.
I'm in a live studio for a radio station. So we have sound systems and engineers and all this other stuff that handles a lot of the sound. But sometimes there's blips because everything records to a computer. And if the computer is having issues and things like that, things may happen. Or if somebody jostles a wire, things may happen. I'm thinking the closet thing works because it limits the sound and limits the amount of external noise or reverberations that may be hearing.
Yes, 100%.
Okay. So you don't want to go into a big empty closet with nothing that's going to absorb sound. That's not going to help somebody with all sorts of hard surfaces.
Right, yeah. You got to go into, the typical closet with lots of clothes that you guys meant to give away, but you're not going to because you got to lose that 20 pounds that you never will. Those closets.
Gotcha. So if you don't have a great closet, everybody, just make yourself one. Or I happen to like headsets with boom microphones because they eliminate a lot of other sounds. I think they're really, really great for doing that. So, all right. Audio quality is important. 1 minute content using your mini marketing. So saying, this is Laura Stewart, founder of Wisdom Learned. It's all about the questions, whatever I may say. Then I'm going to give my content. This is your daily content. Give my content and then said, hey, by the way, go up to laurastewart.com, subscribe, and you can get this gift, or I'm holding a webinar next week. All in 1 minute. So that's what they want to do.
Yeah, between 1 and 2 minutes. You can go up to 10. But here's the thing: because you are talking to these people every single day, right? So you're bound to have a topic that they are not interested in, and they can absolutely say, Alexa, skip, and she will move on to the next one. But if you're constantly giving them really long content that they're unwilling to sit through, they're going to go unsubscribe. And so I like to keep it short and sweet and to the point so that they will stay subscribed and stay entertained for the long run.
What are your thoughts on, because of course my mind's racing as you're listening to this, what are your thoughts on, say, teasing with 1 minute content? It's an actual piece of content, and in your, by the way, your call to action at the end, say, if you want to have some more information on this, go up to here. And maybe there's a longer piece, or there's a webinar, or there's something else that you've done on that topic.
I love it, and I think that is so clever and creative. And here's the thing. I ran into this personally when I started podcasting, 4 or 5 years ago, is I always thought, well, what is everyone else doing, and what does it look like, and what should it do, and what's the right way to do it? And what I have found through, I do tons of content, as Laura said, what I have found and what works best through any content that you guys are creating, including this, is it is a empty painter's palette. You guys can do whatever you want with it. And I highly, highly recommend that you are creative and you ignore the noise and you do what you want to do, and it will literally bring people to you because you're doing it that way. And
consistency is key with anything when it comes to marketing.
Yes, you have to. I have a chapter in my book about that. It's all K for keep going, because the click technique, every letter stands for something. K for keep going. Here's the thing. When it comes to content marketing, including this, this is a long-term game, although you can get more downloads and more traction right now because your competitors aren't on this, but just overhaul with any marketing strategy, especially if you're not putting a ton of money behind it, like in paid ads. It is a long-term game, and you guys need to put your head down and stick with one strategy for 6 to 9 months. You just do. And is what will happen, it will ebb and it will flow, and there will be times that you think it totally sucks and it's not working, and then there'll be times that you're elated, and you just have to remember it will ebb and flow, but it will eventually even out at that 6 to 9 month point.
Okay. Is there any way from statistics or analytics or whatever that you can track how each day's is going, like whether you've got more people listening to that, people seem to be liking this one more than another, so you know what may be working if, say, you're not necessarily seeing subscribes, but a way to see, the people that are listening want more of this?
So I'm so glad you asked that question, because I do want to talk a little bit about what we've been seeing and some statistics. Hard word this morning, apparently. So on the Amazon website, when you have your Alexa Flash Briefing set up, and again, if you go to smartspeakerhub.com, I have little trainings that will walk you through all of it if you get signed up for the service at $20 a month. But So don't worry about this piece. But once you're in there, then there are statistics, and there's statistics of unique users, new users. That means people who actually found you and subscribed. You have how many people have actually listened to it in the day. So they have some, they're not going to be the most amazing stats you've ever seen, but they have basic stats out there so you can see how many listeners you have, how many times they've listened, and those kind of things. So that is really important. I do want to talk a little bit about stats from some of my customers and other people that I've seen utilizing this strategy. So there is a gentleman named Mark Mawiney. Maybe you've interviewed him. I don't know. We are all kind of in the same
I have
family.
not. I might want to, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's great. He's a coach, and he had 10,000 downloads of his Alexa Flash Briefing the first month. Now, I know Mark, but I did not set it up for him. This was an email he sent to his list. So I'm aware of this stat, and it's pretty impressive. I have clients who, actually I have 5 clients right now that has come to mind that have emailed me and said they've gotten new clients or new subscribers after the first week of even being up. So people, there is a content platform, and the last time I was out there on Amazon, there was only 7,000, Laura, Flash Briefings out there. That is not very many. In the whole world, there's only 7,000 options for people to pick from every category they can. And so this is a really great time for brand and content creators to get out there, because no one is out there, relatively speaking. When we look at the world of podcasting, you have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of podcasts. There's 7,000 Flash Briefings. 7,000.
That's so minimal considering how many podcasts are out there and how many YouTube things are out there. Don't
get me started, Laura. Don't get me started. This, my friend, I know I'm cutting you off because I'm so excited about it, but here's the thing. However many years ago when Facebook first came out, I was at my client's office. It was Corey Kerr with Chesbro Music, and he's like, "Hey, are you guys on Facebook?" And I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I guess I'll check it out since you're a big client of mine." And I went home and kind of messed around with it. But I wish I would have taken it seriously, created my page, and started running ads and utilizing this social network that I really didn't understand or utilize at the time. Right now is the time to get on smart speaker marketing before everyone else is on it. It's cutting edge. These are infiltrating our homes, and they will be part of everyone's life. So get your brand on it now, or else a year from now you'll be kicking yourself saying, "I heard that one Click Lindsey saying that. Now I get it." Oh, there's 100,000 content creators out there now.
Okay, so one of the big things about being found on, you know what, I'm going to cut over to commercial right now. I'm cutting in a little early so that we have a longer next segment, because I'll never be able to get your answer in before we have to go to commercial. So we'll be right back with more from Lindsey Anderson. All right, Lindsey, so putting content out is no good if you can't be found. So here's my question for you related to getting your content up for these Alexa devices and these other devices for the Flash Briefings. When I have my book up there, and you've got your books up there, The Click Technique, you have to write content for your book and everything that my publishers helped me with to make sure that people can find the book when they're doing searches, like any website, SEO, search engine optimization. What do people need to do, if anything, when they're creating their feed and uploading the content to make sure people who don't know them already will be able to find their content? Or does it not matter?
Yeah. So, no, it definitely matters, and there is a whole, thing to SEOing your listing, utilizing keywords, knowing what people are searching for, seeing what your competitors are doing. There's, a whole slew of things, right? So, for those who are DIY, wanting to do it yourself, I would say you go in and you set it up the best you can. You do a little bit of research. You take into account some searches or some keywords that you've done, and you utilize the keywords the best you can. Of course, you can always go to a firm like mine. I actually have a program where we will set up everything for you, and all you have to, I will even coach you through creating your Alexa Flash Briefings. I'll do everything for you except for writing the scripts and the voice, but I will consult you and everything, and get it all set up and SEO'd and host it for an entire 12 months. And all of that is for $600. You can go to smartspeakerwebinar.com/go if you want to take me up on that offer. But it's like everything else with digital marketing is you got to put in a little bit of research and you got to have a little know-how if you guys are going to DIY it.
Okay, so give them a tip or two for the DIYers out there or somebody that is just sort of exploring it. Do they go look at like other feeds that are out there that maybe are in their same wheelhouse and look how they're doing it? How do they begin to get
what I would do. First of all, this is going to be a good tip for many of you who do not like have an Alexa smart speaker, and like really your initial reaction might be, oh, how would I find who my competitors are if I don't have an Alexa? Hence, I don't have the Alexa app. Hence, I can't find who my competitors are. If you guys go to Amazon.com on your laptop, and up in the top left of the search bar, there is a drop-down that will show you different departments. The very first department, friends, is going to be Alexa Briefings. So select that and then get to work on your keywords. So you're going to, like if you are in essential oils, right? Maybe you're a direct sales lady and you type in essential oils. Then all of the Alexa Flash Briefings for essential oils come up. What would I do? I would look at the first one, see what keywords they're using, see what it's called, because we always want to be first for our main keyword. Then I would go and see who has a lot of reviews, and I would kind of mimic and look and see if I can draw some inspiration from what they're doing to make mine more successful. That's how I would go about it.
That's a great idea, because too often we go, oh, well, we can't copy what other people are doing. It's not copying. You have to put your own words to it. But if that's what you want, look at what the best are doing.
Yeah, why not? I mean, Laura, I've never done anything creative in my entire life. I copy absolutely everything.
We used to call that in the peer groups that I was involved with in tech, we called them swipes.
Yes, yeah. I mean, of course, you can put your own spin on it, but I just did a podcast on, Aristotle came up with the main three ways to sell someone, and he did that 2,500 years ago, and every sales book pretty much copies him. There's no new ideas. There's your take on ideas.
Right. We SWIPE stood for Steal with Integrity, Pride, and Enthusiasm, and the integrity was a huge part of it because you don't want to plagiarize.
Right. Oh, absolutely not. But you can be inspired.
Right. Yeah, and it's a very important thing. Okay, so let me just sort of summarize what we've come up with. These smart speakers, these Alexa devices, the Google, we've mostly focused on the Alexa device. We can provide to our potential clients and to our existing clients these flash briefings. 1 minute to 2 minute, no more than that, content that they get every single day that has a call to action. Very important. All of my listeners, so many of you, including myself, don't always put a call to action into everything that you're doing. And then that will drive it. But as Lindsey, you said, 6 to 9 months, stick to it. Don't just try it for a couple of times.
Yes, please don't.
And if they need additional help with it, they can always go to smartspeakerhub.com because you've got amazing stuff out there for them. You can manage everything for them. They still have to create their content, but you can also help them sort of create a strategy for their brand in order to make sure that these 1 minute recordings that they do are effective.
Yes. Amen.
Okay, perfect. All right, cool. So I think we'd be remiss if we didn't, at least for a minute or so, mention these other devices. I know we focused on Alexa because it's the Amazon is the big gorilla in the room. Is there feeds on other devices like the Google Home and some of the other ones?
Oh, I'm so glad you brought this up. So, yes, Amazon right now has the biggest market share. I think it's like 3/4 of everyone's on the Amazon. Apple also has one of these. It's called the HomePod. Google has, Google's might be the HomePod. Yeah, Google's is the HomePod. The Apple one has like a 3% market share, which is next to nothing. And recently, Facebook has come out just in November of 2018 and said they are also getting on this bandwagon. They're just going to be called the Portal. So I just want to nudge you real quick. Again, if all these tech giants are getting on it, you guys cannot ignore this. But to answer Laura's question, right now, and Smart Speaker Hub, we right now just service the Alexa. We are working on servicing the Google Home, which does not, it has a concept of audio content, but not necessarily Flash Briefings. Apple currently does not have an open API, but when it does, we'll be the first to be able to stream there. I just know it. And then Facebook has not released theirs yet, so we're waiting.
Okay. So the takeaway I really want people to get from this is don't be afraid of new technology. There are people out there that know what they're doing that can help you with it. Get a brand that you're focused on. 2019 is right here. And, Lindsey, I love the work you're doing. I love your book, The Click Technique, and I promise you I will get the review up there soon. I'm about 5 books behind on reviews I have to put up there because, as you can imagine, I read multiple books every week for people that ask me to. But your book is really great. Consider reaching out to Lindsey. What's the best way that they can reach out to you if they have questions or need some help with this kind of stuff?
You can just go to my website, oneclicklindsey.com. There's contact information all over there. I have a free Facebook group you can get access to, or we can chat, and I can offer you some guidance with your digital marketing.
Okay. So I can tell you from personal experience that if you reach out to Lindsey on social media, she responds like so crazy quick.
Yep, true.
It really blows my mind. And I'm really excited about this. And you've got me thinking of what would be my 1 minute. And I think I know what I'm going to do. Everybody's been saying to me that the questions in my book, What Would a Wise Woman Do?, are really great. And I had said in the book that I was going to send out an email a day. And Mom got sick and life just happened and I never really did it. But I'm excited now. I think what I'm going to do is your question a day in this, the Flash Briefings for myself starting in 2019. Take a question from the book, do a 1 minute thing about it, and set the people off for the day. What do you think?
100%. I love it. I couldn't love it more.
Okay. So it's as simple as that. Just in this 1 hour time that we've been on the air, I've got a new product that I can put out there with a call to action. And my call to action for everybody in the show today is go subscribe to my website, laurastewart.com, so you'll know when I go live with this. You'll also get a free workbook to help you figure out who you are and what you want to do. And then give Lindsey a call and let her help you. Beyond that, or if I can help you figure out your business strategies, and we'll work with Lindsey to help you get all of the different pieces together. Does that work for you, Lindsey?
I love it, Laura. Thank you so much for letting me be on again.
It was such a joy. I learned so much about these devices, and I'm going to tease everybody. January 1st show, I'm going to have Yuri Diogenes. He's one of the top cybersecurity experts in the world, and we are going to be talking about how you can secure your Alexa device.
There you go.
So that, as you talked about in the beginning, the government's listening, the whole world is listening, how you can protect yourself with your device so that you don't get hacked or anything bad happens to you. So thanks again, Lindsey, and have a very happy holiday.
Thank you. You too, Laura, and everybody else.
All right. And everybody, remember, social media reputation is critical. So go to laurastewart.com/SoTellUs and find out how you can secure your reputation. I want to thank everybody for being here with us today, listening to Lindsey and all the great work she's doing. Remember, the right questions can change your life. So what are you asking yourself today? Have a great day, everyone.
You've been listening to It's All About the Questions, starring Laura Stewart. Connect with Laura at it'sallaboutthequestions.com and download a free workbook that will help you ask better questions starting today.